If you clicked on this video, this is going to be a message about protection. The first card that I drew from the Oracle cards was this one right here, protection. And I sat with this energy for a little bit. And honestly, this is all about knowing that you are protected. You have a spiritual team behind you. God is behind you. The universe is behind you. You are right now in a place in your life where maybe you feel like certain things or certain people are not showing up for you. But Spirit is saying, we're showing up for you. Okay. You are divinely protected. You have protection. You are not alone. Okay. And you have to understand that sometimes in our physical world, things might look completely different, but there's always a higher plan for us. So, this energy with the protection, right? Protect yourself in the physical realm, right? So, make sure that you're cleansing your home, make sure that you're doing grounding practices and protect yourself from negative thought forms. Have the self awareness to be able to determine when your mindset is shifting on you. And don't be hard on yourself, but just understand, talk to yourself and be like, hey, I'm not talking to myself like that. You got to kind of like check yourself, and you got to realign, readjust, and kind of pivot when you feel these negative thoughts coming. And because that could be a form of debilitating your spirit, right? So practice and affirmations as well, okay? So you are protected, you are valued, and at the same time, as much as we have divine protection from our universe and divine guidance, if we don't really believe that ourselves, then it can kind of tarnish that moment or tarnish that connection. So you have to believe that you are protected because you are, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get into the tarot cards. And we're going to get into what situation specifically Spirit wants us to be aware of. This is for the collective, so please only take what resonates. Okay, so I got a few cards that showed up here. So, okay, so we have here, this is about the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so the Ten of Pentacles usually indicates community, and this is about having a strong foundation. This is about having a community, having family, having the finances. But at the same time, this is about shared responsibilities, okay? This is about you not being the only one taking care of business. This is about you having the support that you need to have in order to sustain this Ten of Pentacles. So if you have been in a position where you have been giving too much, Spirit is saying withdraw a bit, because this is not yours to carry by yourself. People are supposed to show up and work together as a community. You shouldn't be the one doing everything for everyone else. So that's a really interesting card. And I feel like the Ten of Pentacles too can talk about how we build something, and that something at the time is something really beautiful, really great, and you want to share it with the world. You want to share it with your family, with your loved ones, with your support system. But then at time that can create certain dependencies, and now that starts to feel like a burden to you. Okay. So that's really fascinating. So do you trust the people that are around you? Do you have any like intuitive hunches about certain things just simply not being right, about someone maybe taking advantage of you? I would definitely sit with that energy and meditate with that and see what can you really discover, what is your higher spirit telling you, or pray about it, pray for clarity. And we have here the Nine of Pentacles is showing up in reverse. And this is the block. The Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So this is about independence, okay? This card indicates independence, hard work, and gaining what it is that you deserve. But right now it's in reverse. And I feel like I just feel the word codependency. Some people are dependent on you a little bit too much. You have been so generous. You have been so giving. You have, really showed up for the people that you love. And this doesn't have to just be money. This could be with your energy, with your essence, with your love, with your companionship. And I feel like there's a disconnect here where maybe someone is not necessarily giving you that back, and it's not about, reciprocation specifically, because let's say I have financial resources, but you don't, but you can give me an unconditional friendship, or you can give me like a really beautiful vibe, and you're such a good companion. Does that mean that because I have money, I'm more valuable than what you're giving me? No. It doesn't mean that you have to get the exact same thing in return, but you should be getting something in return, right? Because that's an equivalent exchange, right? That's how it should work. So there's a disconnect with that, okay? So let's go ahead and Go a little bit further in the reading, you guys. Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune and is actually in reverse. So let's talk about the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is about embracing a change, okay? But it could be that these roots are established so strongly, this codependency has been established so strongly that it can be very difficult to just like flip that wheel and go with the changes. So there could be resistance. There could be resistance because maybe there's this energy of like, I don't want to hurt others, but nobody's really thinking about how drained you are, how much they have taken from you without giving something back. So it's not about I don't want to hurt other people, but it is about how can I preserve myself a little bit better, because right now it doesn't feel too good. It feels like you're drained. It feels like you're kind of stranded in a way. And Spirit is saying, you have our protection. You have to now take the action to self-preservation. Okay, so we have here, okay, Eight of Swords in reverse, which I like to see the Eight of Swords in reverse. It shows that this is actually clarity, because the Eight of Swords can be a very constricting energy. This could be an energy that makes you feel like you can't move forward, like the situation is just too bad, that it doesn't get better than this, that this is the only way. And I like seeing it in reverse because it actually does show that you are taking off the blindfold and there is a way of moving forward. So that's really good. After the stress that maybe some of you guys are feeling, expect clarity. And if we want to take the number 8 into consideration, maybe this could be in the next 8 weeks or even in the next 8 months. But with that being said, the eights are about movement. So there is movement coming here. You are taking off the blindfold that's folding you or blinding you from seeing that there is a different way to handle this, that there is a different way that this should be. And you are going to make the proper changes. You are going to move forward in a different way. You're going to move differently. And then we have the Three of Wands, and that Three of Wands is showing up upright. And this Three of Wands shows that there's something coming in that is going to give you expansion, the room to expand, even the room to be able to go on a journey, right? And this could be metaphorically. For some, this could be physically. Maybe some of you guys are going to move. But and even this could be a situation where someone is living with you and you have to kind of like remove this. Maybe you have to go. Maybe there is a lease that's coming to an end. You know what I mean? And it will allow you to go to embark in a new journey. But whatever it is, this is about seeing that there is different ways, different energy coming into your life. It's not gonna stay like this forever, basically. And this change is coming sooner than what you think. But the sooner you embrace, so this is the thing about the Wheel of Fortune, right? Because we're clarifying the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune can turn in any direction. So, in order for you to embrace this energy, you have to make the proper steps. You have to take the proper action. If not, you're going to go right back to the situation. Okay. So, definitely understand how powerful your free will is. Okay. Then we have here the Four of Wands. This is milestone celebration. So, you see how lighter the energy is getting. This is actually a really beautiful energy because it shows an accomplishment. It shows that, there is celebration, and it also shows like realistically, the card is actually showing that there's celebration with the loved ones that might feel constricting right now. And so this could be like a change in dynamic in the relationship because you're putting certain boundaries up. Now they got to figure out how to be, in themselves, how to figure out, certain things without you coming to the rescue. And it actually strengthens the relationship, maybe not with everybody, but it does show some sort of harmony here. Okay. And then you have the Eight of Cups, which is an energy of walking away. Okay. So definitely walking away from something that no longer serves you. That is absolutely saying that this situation is no longer serving you. You definitely got to move forward in order to embrace this milestone or this new phase in the relationships that you have. But with that being said, there has to be the proper, decisions made from your part. You have to be able to really say no more, right? It's not just, they're not just going to walk away. When you have been helping people, if they haven't taken the initiative to leave that situation and get themselves in a better situation, they're not just going to leave, right? Now they're kind of taking advantage of you to a certain extent. And now it requires for you to put the boundaries down, right? To really communicate what it is that's not working for you anymore, okay? And then we have the justice. Yep. So this is about balance, equilibrium, balancing certain things out. The truth is the truth. This is about being factual, right? This is about saying, hey, like, this is what I've done. I have done X, Y, and Z, and this is what I need from you now. Like, this is my time to collect. This is my time to say, I can't continue to do this. This is where you are able to deliver a really tough message in a very objective way. So it's a positive thing. But balance will come out of that. And sometimes the truth can be hard to swallow. So it doesn't mean that some people might not feel some type of way, but at the end of the day, this is confirmation that, you do have to handle something in a very objective manner. Okay. And then we have the Empress. And I feel like what this is saying is be in your energy of worthiness. Okay. So do you deserve for people to leech on you, you know, emotionally, mentally, materially? Do you deserve that? No. You deserve to receive, right? You deserve what you give back, right? So this energy is talking about nurturing too. So it's like part of nurturing someone and part of showing someone how to do something better for themselves is to stop enabling them. So some of you guys might need to stop enabling someone or something, a situation. There's an enabling energy that has to come to an end. There's a codependency energy that has to come to an end. And you are protected, okay? So this is what I'm saying. Like, these are all very kind of tough human dynamics to navigate, right? And you might feel a lot of emotions while you're navigating this situation. But Spirit is saying you are protected. Don't worry about karma, because I feel like that's something that sometimes we can go to whenever we have to make certain tough decisions and kind of like take the rug out of somebody's feet. We might feel like, oh, sorry, we might feel like, oh, well, that can be karma for me. And Spirit is saying, no, actually, you're protected because you've done what you can. You've done enough. You've been generous enough. That's what this reading is saying. Okay. And then we have the King of Wands. And it's showing up. Can you guys see it? There we go. King of Wands. And this is about, being fearless about your leadership, having the vision, right? So, and I say leadership because you are the one ultimately that's in charge of your life. You are the leader of your life. And this is about seeing a different way on how you can show up, how your life should be. This is about designing a different path, designing it from scratch, not being afraid of, breaking out of the status quo, of, not doing things exactly the same way. This is what the King of Wands does. It's about taking charge and being innovative with it, right? So you can build new relationships with your family. You can build new boundaries with your family. And yes, like I said, some people might not like that. That's just what it is. But it might make you closer to the connections that do, survive this kind of purge in your life, right? Because, like I said, it's not just your responsibility to provide, it takes a group effort. And the 10 of Pentacles is a community, not just a single individual. So that's really fascinating. I want you guys to let me know who resonates to this reading. Is there a situation where you feel like you're the one providing and no one's really stepping up? This can even translate, like, let's say, for example, if you live with roommates, are you the only one doing the cleaning? Are you the only one constantly doing the dishes? Are people eating your food without your permission? And you go into the fridge, you do groceries, and then you go to the fridge and you don't see anything in there? That's crazy. That can get somebody pissed off at any given moment. And then you have to put some boundaries down and put your foot down and things like that. And again, this can look differently for everyone, so please take it how it resonates. But with that being said, you guys, I think this is it that I have for this reading. I feel pretty um, satisfied with it. Please let me know if this reading did resonate with you, and I'll see you guys on the next one.